Listen, brother, ever feel like something's off? Like she craves something she'd never admit, not even to herself? Let's talk about the depraved fantasy buried deep inside the mind of every woman, the one that's wired by instinct, hidden beneath layers of conditioning and carefully masked behind modern narratives. It's not romantic, it's not soft, and it has nothing to do with love. This is about female desire at its rawest, where masculine polarity, dominance, and sexual strategy collide with what society tells you to be. You were taught to be the nice guy. But guess who she dreams of when the lights go out? This isn't theory. This is the unspoken truth behind why most relationships slowly die, and why most men never even see it coming. If you don't understand female psychology, you'll keep chasing approval, while she's subconsciously testing for masculine energy. And once you understand what this fantasy really is, and how to ethically lean into it, you'll realize just how much power you've been giving away without even knowing it. If this resonates with you, even just a little, don't keep it to yourself. Drop a like, leave a quick comment, and share this with another man who's ready to stop being lied to. Let's build this awareness together, one truth at a time. What we're about to break down isn't just about women. It's about your frame, your power, and your ability to stop living blind. The depraved fantasy that lives in every woman's mind, and none dares to admit it, starts with a look, not words, not gestures. Just that moment her eyes linger a little longer than expected. And deep down you feel it. There's something there she's not saying. That's because she's not allowed to say it. She's been conditioned to bury it. Society shames it. But it's there, a raw, primal, depraved fantasy rooted in female desire that clashes with everything she was taught to want. And the worst part? Most men never see it until it's too late. The modern man is told to be safe, polite, sensitive, and while there's value in kindness, here's the twist. That's not what ignites her desire. The truth she won't admit, and might not even be aware of, is that her body responds to something entirely different, something dangerous, something rooted in dominance, masculine polarity, and ancient mating instinct. If you think logic will unlock her, you're already playing the wrong game. So what is this fantasy? Is it a scenario, a role play, a secret kink? Not exactly. It's deeper. It's about psychological seduction, not performance. It's about tension, not technique. It's a craving to surrender, to be led, to feel emotionally overwhelmed by a man who doesn't need her, but chooses her anyway. And yet, she'll never tell you that, because to admit it is to break the image she's been told to maintain. Let me say this clearly. This has nothing to do with disrespect. We're not talking about control through fear or pain. We're talking about an emotional manipulation that's subconscious, mutual, and deeply coded into the wiring of female psychology. This is the unspoken agreement, the unspoken truth, that plays out between men and women behind closed doors and either builds magnetic chemistry or kills it. Have you ever done everything right? Been supportive, kind, emotionally available, only for her to say she lost the spark? That wasn't about you being too good. That was about you not triggering her behavioral triggers. You gave her comfort, but not chemistry. What she felt missing wasn't love, it was sexual polarity. The fire dies when a man suppresses his masculine energy in hopes of being safe. Safe doesn't seduce. She'll never say it directly, but here's the behavior to look for. She starts testing you more, challenges your decisions, withdraws affection. These are not random mood swings. These are subconscious signals. She's checking to see if you still hold the frame, if you still lead with masculine boundaries, if you still embody assertive presence. Because if she senses weakness, her body turns off, no matter how much her words try to protect your feelings. It's in those moments, when a woman challenges you, that most men fold. They explain, justify, negotiate, and in doing so, they unknowingly kill the very thing she's begging them to hold. Undeniable confidence. See, the fantasy isn't about you saying yes. It's about you knowing when to say no, when to lead, when to take control, not with force, but with clarity. With mental framing so strong that she feels safe losing herself in it. You might be thinking, but if she wants this, why not just say it? That's the paradox. Women are biologically wired for primal desire, but culturally conditioned to deny it. She was taught to seek comfort, status, and emotional safety, yet what makes her ache is the exact opposite. It's the alpha mindset, the man who doesn't ask for permission to lead. It's not about being mean, it's about being unapologetically masculine in a world that begs men to shrink. Her fantasy? It doesn't show up on a dating profile. It shows up in her dreams, in the way she stares when a man walks into a room owning it, and how she gets flustered when he doesn't flinch under pressure. These aren't random. These are deep responses to mating instinct. And they're activated not by your looks or wallet, but by your presence, your stillness, your internal emotional control. That's what makes her mind submit long before her body ever will. And yet, Most men sabotage this energy. They text too much, seek reassurance, try to be understanding at every turn. But every time you lean in without polarity, you turn down the dial on hidden attraction. She won't say it, but she'll feel it. And once that feeling fades, no amount of effort will bring her back. Because now you've confirmed you're not the man she can surrender to, only the man she can lead. Imagine walking into a room and saying nothing, yet everyone senses your presence. That's Stoicism. That's masculine polarity in its pure form. And that's what women crave when it comes to their deepest, depraved fantasy. A man who moves with calm precision, not noise. A man whose silence carries weight, who listens more than he talks and never needs to prove himself. That's who she envisions taking control, not the man explaining his worth. It's not about being cold. It's about being solid, grounded, certain. Think about the last time you watched a woman melt around a man who didn't chase, but instead held space, observed, and acted when it mattered. That wasn't luck. That was psychological seduction. The ability to let her feel tension without relieving it too soon. To let her imagination spiral around your stillness. That's what most men never learn. And pay the price for. Now let's get practical. Start by paying attention to how quickly you react to her moods. The next time she withdraws or tests you, don't chase. Don't fill the space. Hold it. This activates emotional leverage, a shift where she starts re-engaging, trying to pull you in. The power is never in doing more. It's in doing less, better, in holding your line with relaxed power. That's how you signal dominance without saying a word. This is the moment where most men either rise or fold, and you'll feel it. She'll look at you differently. Her tone will shift. Her energy will drop into something softer, almost involuntary. That's her feminine reacting to masculine boundaries. The game isn't played with words. It's played in subconscious signals. And once you start decoding those, you stop being reactive and start being magnetic. She doesn't want answers. She wants a man who doesn't flinch. Let's be real. Some men already sense this dynamic, but they misapply it. They swing too far into aggression or emotional coldness. But that's not what she wants either. Her depraved fantasy is about being conquered, not controlled. There's a difference. One is about power over. The other is about power through masculine polarity. She doesn't want to be oppressed. She wants to feel your alpha mindset guiding her, making her drop into her softness without needing to explain why. You know you've tapped into this when her behavior shifts without you asking for it. She starts mirroring your energy, leaning into you emotionally, initiating intimacy. Not because you asked, but because your assertive presence created the tension she craved. That's female psychology at play. When she senses that you won't bend for validation, she stops testing. When you no longer seek her approval, she starts craving yours. This is how sexual strategy becomes power. Quiet, steady, undeniable. And here, a quick pause. If this is making sense to you, if this content is waking something up inside that you couldn't quite name before, then don't just sit with that. Hit the like button right now, subscribe, and share this with another man who's tired of being kept in the dark. Every view, every comment, every share helps more men escape the trap of chasing approval and start stepping into undeniable confidence. You're not here by accident. Let's keep going. You're about to see even deeper. Now, let's go one layer deeper. What happens when you finally stop chasing her love and start embodying your own center? Her feminine submission begins to unfold. Slowly, subtly, like the way she softens her voice or starts asking your opinion more. She's not doing it to manipulate. She's responding to your mental framing, to your ability to remain unshaken. This is the unspoken truth. She wants to lose herself in a man who hasn't lost himself in her. Let's visualize it. Picture a man walking calmly through chaos. Never rushing, never breaking. That image alone evokes masculine energy. Now picture a woman watching him. Her mind doesn't say, "Oh, he's hot." Her body just reacts. That's subconscious signals. Her fantasy isn't triggered by words. It's a reaction to grounded presence. And that's why men who understand emotional control seem mysterious. They're not trying to be. They just don't need to fill silence. And that silence makes her lean in. This is why self-work matters. You can't fake this. You can't perform this. Women are emotional bloodhounds. They'll sniff out performative masculinity instantly. You build real dominance by doing hard things when no one's watching, by keeping your word, by becoming a man with nothing to prove. And from that, your behavioral triggers change. You stop people-pleasing, you stop chasing, you start embodying stoicism, that calm fire she can't explain but doesn't want to lose. And don't confuse calm with passive. A grounded man moves, he makes decisions, he speaks with weight. That's what triggers her hidden attraction. When she feels that you know what you want and you don't need her to validate it, she feels both safe and electrified. That's the paradox. Safety through dominance. Peace through polarity. Passion through presence. Most men look for permission. But the man she dreams about? He already decided who he is before she arrived. Let's get honest. The man who triggers a woman's primal desire isn't always the one she chooses long term. But he's the one she remembers. Why? Because he activated something ancient, something that whispered, "This man could lead me into danger," and I'd follow anyway. That's not about abuse. That's about mating instinct. It bypasses her logic. It touches her nervous system. And most men never trigger it because they try to be safe instead of sovereign. Ever heard her say, "I don't know why I'm so drawn to him"? That's your clue. That's not love. That's not checklist compatibility. That's emotional manipulation at a subconscious level. Not unethical, but primal. It's the energetic tension of sexual polarity, the contrast between a man who leads and a woman who wants to melt. You don't need to become someone else. You need to strip away what made you ignore this power in the first place. And now, a quick story. Mark was 31, smart, kind, loyal. He did everything right. Flowers, good morning texts, emotional support. But she pulled away. Said she needed space. Then she was suddenly dating a guy who didn't text back, didn't explain himself, and made no apologies. Mark was crushed until he realized the truth. That guy didn't win because he was toxic. He won because he moved with assertive presence and stoicism, and that's what she couldn't resist. Mark's breakthrough came when he stopped asking, "What do women want?" and started asking, "Who am I when I stop performing?" He started journaling daily, practicing martial arts. He set masculine boundaries with coworkers, with family, even with his own excuses. Slowly, he stopped chasing. He started leading, and the next woman who entered his life felt it. She told him, "I've never felt this drawn to someone so calm." That's the power of masculine polarity fully integrated. There's a pattern here, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Female desire isn't about fairness or logic. It's about sensation, depth, tension. It's why she tests your patience, why she plays with distance, not to hurt you, but to feel you. She's checking if your alpha mindset can handle her storm. Because the moment she senses you're grounded, that you won't flinch, her entire demeanor changes. Her walls drop, her body relaxes, her heart opens. This is why the most dangerous thing a man can do is pedestalize her, make her the center of his universe. It feels noble, but it destroys masculine polarity. She doesn't want to be worshipped. She wants to be led. She wants to feel like she's entering your world, not dragging you into hers. And to do that, you need mental framing strong enough to hold her chaos without trying to fix it. Just be the mountain. This doesn't mean shutting down emotionally. In fact, emotional availability with grounded emotional control is what separates the weak from the magnetic. You can feel, but don't spiral. You can listen, but don't lose direction. You can love, but don't submit. That balance is what triggers her feminine submission. When she feels you can see through her games, hold your line, and still stay present, that's when she falls. Not because you asked, because you embodied it. You've probably been told that women just want a good guy. But here's the catch. Most women don't even consciously realize what ignites their own desire. It's subconscious signals, body-level responses to your dominance, your tone, your pace, your certainty. You're not just speaking to her ears, you're speaking to her nervous system. And that's where the depraved fantasy lives. Not in her words, but in her reactions. So stop listening to what she says and start observing. To integrate this, start simple. Create masculine boundaries in your daily life. Practice holding silence. Make decisions without asking for agreement. Build a routine that reflects internal discipline. Not for her, but for you. As you grow in stoicism and presence, people will feel it, and she will feel it. You won't need to explain yourself. You won't need to push. Your alpha mindset will speak louder than your words, because you'll no longer be performing. You'll be embodying. This isn't about becoming a character. It's about returning to your core. You were born with this. The world just taught you to numb it, to tone it down, to make others comfortable. But she doesn't want comfort. She wants to be moved, emotionally, physically, spiritually. Her depraved fantasy is to be undone by a man who remains unmoved. And when you step into that energy, you stop chasing women and start attracting devotion. That devotion won't come through force. It comes through emotional leverage, through showing up differently so she naturally follows, through mastering your behavioral triggers so your reactions are intentional, not emotional, through walking away when needed without drama or doubt. That's power. And that's what she's starving for in a world full of weak men who confuse validation with value. Be rare. Be rooted. Be the man whose presence demands respect without needing to raise your voice. Women don't want to teach you how to lead. They want you to already know. They want to feel that you've done the work, that your strength isn't surface. It's in your spine. That your words aren't loud, but they land. That your masculine energy isn't just posture, it's earned. That's when she trusts you. That's when the fantasy becomes real. Not through manipulation, but through natural sexual strategy and presence that speaks for itself. There will always be noise, critics, doubt, confusion. But the man who understands this truth, the man who sees past the polite lies into the raw, unspoken truth of female psychology, becomes free, not to dominate others, but to lead himself. And in doing so, he becomes the kind of man women can't explain, but can't forget. The kind who doesn't chase validation, because he is the validation. That's what she really wants, and will never admit. So the real question becomes, are you willing to stop chasing approval and start embodying undeniable confidence? Are you ready to let go of who you were told to be and become who you were always meant to be? Because once you do, she won't just notice. She'll respond, not because of what you said, but because of what you finally became. And that is the beginning of everything that comes next. So now the truth is in your hands. You can ignore it. Go back to chasing, pleasing, explaining, and keep wondering why it never feels enough. Or you can apply this. Start leading with silence. Set masculine boundaries. Show up with undeniable confidence. And stop apologizing for your masculine polarity. Because her body is waiting for it, even if her mouth will never say it. You don't need to ask women what they want anymore. You just need to observe what they respond to. So I'll ask you straight. Have you ever seen a woman respond to a man in a way that made no logical sense, but it made perfect emotional sense? Drop your thoughts below. Comment this phrase to show you're truly waking up. I lead, she follows. No words needed. Seriously. Thank you for watching all the way through. That means you're not just another guy chasing quick answers. You're here for depth, for truth, for male awakening. If this message hit deep, do one simple thing that helps us reach more men like you. Like the video. Send it to a friend who needs to hear this. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss what comes next. We're building something powerful here, and this is just the beginning.